Hello, everyone. Happy Friday night. Yay, the weekend's on us, hey? I want to welcome you here tonight, and hopefully it won't go as long tonight. I just want to clue into a few news articles tonight, but first, before we get going, I want to actually celebrate that I actually made a milestone tonight. Google already closed down one of my videos, apparently. I guess we struck a nerve already. So if you're watching from YouTube, you might be able to catch the live stream, but you know what? It might not be long before they shut the account right down. Anyhow, I guess they didn't like it that I was, yeah, Glenda, yeah, LOL. But you know what? It's a mark on the wall. I'm quite happy with that. I've already struck a chord. So like I said, that is all the more reason to sign up in our Telegram account and Rumble, and let's get that going, because once we can stream there, we're less likely to be shut down, guys. And but I guess they didn't like that whole bit. On Wednesday evening, I talked about that Suddenly Died movie, and then or that Died Suddenly movie, and then this Suddenly Changed movie, and I don't think they liked it at all. In fact, that's what they mentioned in the email. Now, when I log into it, it's still working. The video is still there, but I'm wondering if it's because I have to clear my cache. But apparently it's apparently been removed according to their notifications. So we'll see what happens. I'm quite happy with that, actually. I mean, I'm not happy, but I am happy. I kind of struck a chord with them already. If you're joining us, please comment and let us know where you're from. Say hi. We like to say hi to everyone. And please feel free to share this wherever. I mean, it's hard to advertise everywhere to get this going, because we probably will. This is a lesson to us. We are going to get shut down. So please feel free to share these videos. Like I said, I can't live stream to Rumble yet. I need you guys to like on it, and then hopefully soon, once, I think it's something like 100 likes. I've had that account for a while, but I haven't really put a whole lot up on it. I haven't really got going on it. So please like, and then hopefully we can start streaming soon on it. I think I do have to pay as well, but I need to have at least 100 likes. And so that would be, or follows, or whatever they call it. I'll probably open up a BitChute as well for Choice Vitality. I haven't done that yet. And I actually opened up a Truth Social. That's Donald Trump's platform. I actually finally got on it. I don't know what happened, but I have been trying to get on it for a long time. Apparently, I don't know whether my email was banned on it or what, but I put in a different email, and all of a sudden, boom, they accepted me. So I am starting to post links to Truth Social, what's going on. Now, I'm not sure what's happening with Twitter. On Wednesday night, it did not stream to Twitter. So I ended up putting a link on it later. And if that happens again, I will put a link on much later. No big deal. Obviously, it's going to be a Rumble one that we're sharing. But yeah, if a platform doesn't, if it doesn't stream properly, and I'm not sure why, because it was set to stream, whether it was a conflict with Twitter rules or what, I have not been notified, so I don't know what happened there. So yeah, anyhow, so before we get going tonight, I am going to go over some word from some of our sponsors here. So we have the Choice Network. This is fantastic. If you're joining us for the first time, the Choice Network, you need to really check into it, especially if you're into holistic health. Most health insurance do not cover a lot in the holistic industry. We might get a little bit of chiropractic, you might get a little bit of acupuncture, you might get a little bit of, depending on what province, you may get a little bit of holistic nutrition and stuff like that. Um, it's stuff like, a naturopath and stuff like that. But beyond that, you really don't get much coverage. And the Choice Network is kind of building a new concept to coverage. So if you're a holistic health user, especially if you're one over before any other physician or any other natural Western medicine user, um, go to the Choice Network and check out what they have. They have plans um, for all different economical needs, and you can have different types of coverage. They It's basically like a cooperative. So their only restriction is whether they have a health professional in that area for your needs, or whether they have a health professional in your area. A lot of them are virtual providers on there. However, you may find one that's in your location, possibly. They're sprinkled all over Canada and the US. So do check it out. Some providers don't have country restrictions where they work, so you might be shocked what you can get a hold of there. Anyhow, go to thechoicenetwork.net/CV. That's our own special link for it, and use the coupon code CVitality10. That'll give you 10% off. So there you go. You'll receive 10% off your first subscription fee. So there you go. So the next sponsor is IMatterWellness. Yeah, we're a little bit slow again today. They specialize in sleuthing out your wellness needs. They focus on determining what your body needs to stay healthy or to correct a situation. And they focus on health management, not disease management. So it's a little bit different. They have several methods that they use and from physical to bioenergetic or whatever. Give them a checkout. It's IMatterWellness.ca, and you might be surprised. You might find that they might be what you need. Lastly, be careful how you search on the internet. We all know that. Google logs information, and that's how they make their money, is by logging your information, and they feed what they think you should see or what they think you want to see. Whereas if you go to pre-search, they strip your anonymity. They take out any identification off of you. They send it out, their yields return back to you. You don't have to. They're kind of like DuckDuckGo, but DuckDuckGo is now censoring. So whereas pre-search is not. Pre-search is a decentralized, built on the blockchain, I believe. It's decentralized search engine. There's actually ways that you can make money through them by building nodes and everything else. They have a form of crypto with it. You can earn it with each search. But most importantly, it's not the crypto that you earn, it's the search. The search is a protective way. Now, I do a lot of, sometimes when I'm really digging deep into stuff to present to you guys, I actually do my searches on pre-search, because they don't block all sides. They don't block anything. I can find both sides, whereas Google, sometimes I can't. And my own health websites, they do much better on pre-search versus Google or anything else. So give them a shot. All of our sponsors, their links are in our description. So give them a read through and take a look. Now, I will be updating this with True Social and everything else soon, but these are our main social media. I have YouTube may not be on there much longer at this rate, but I'm having actually a little bit of fun with that. I went to log on to watch the public inquiry today, because Trudeau was actually up there telling his lies, and they actually That's when I actually got the flag, and I hadn't even checked my email account yet. So, anyways, we have Facebook slash facebook.com/choice vitality. We have Twitter. There's the Telegram. We're actually we have YouTube and Rumble. Now we are airing on Facebook, Twitter, and Telegram and YouTube right now. We like to switch that YouTube eventually to Rumble if we don't get shut down first. But if you're a Telegram user, go to Telegram and you'll be able to catch it on Telegram. And so far, Facebook hasn't touched us yet. So we'll see what happens. I will hopefully update that and put in the this weekend and put the Truth Social. I think there was one other one that I found that I was sharing on too, but I don't think I took out a page with it. We'll take a look here and see if I can share that too. So yes, and then lastly, do you have a story that you want to share? Do you the way the pandemic affected you? It could be health related, it could be business related. We would like to give you the platform to talk. Now, if you're a little bit scared of your identity being shown, what we'll do is we'll actually try to set you up in a way that you're silhouetted and stuff like that. But if you would want to get your story out, by all means, shoot us an email, and we would love to give you that opportunity to do that. Also, if you are a professional, especially if you work, if you're able to work with people that are suffering after issues from the pandemic, we'll just go with that. You know what I'm referring to, especially if you're in that, but any kind of if you have any kind of specialty that's related in the holistic industry and you would love to be featured on here, give us a call. We will, for sure, we will give you we would love to do an interview with you and learn more. I know I have one coming up soon. I just haven't booked the date with them, but I'm hoping to actually set them up soon. And lastly, if you have news tips or anything like that, give us a shout, because we would actually like to research them. Now today, I was getting a little bit worried because I was so busy today, but it's amazing how much news was actually in. So thankfully, I didn't have to worry about not having any news tips in. But sometimes these news tips are really beneficial, especially if we don't catch it right away. So please feel free to do that for us. Other than that, I hope you just sit back and enjoy the show. Just a sec here. There we go. I want you to sit back and enjoy the show. So I am going to actually, I want to talk. What I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to start out with a few health things, and then I'm going to kind of shift gears a little bit, and we're going to go into, I'm going to talk a little bit about the emergency, or the Emergency Act inquiry, the public inquiry. And I mean, every now and then I'm periodically listening to it, especially when certain people come on. This past week has been all the government officials. And, I want to show them all. I can't, but it's been kind of interesting. Trudeau was actually on today, and I haven't gone through his testimony, so I won't be commenting. Maybe Monday I'll comment on him. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Chrystia Freeland, and then one of the other justice ministers a little bit later. They were actually, and it's kind of interesting how some of them get caught in their tracks with it. It's really quite fascinating. I know it's not super health related, but it is, because it was about the mandates. So I kind of want to go into it a little bit. So anyhow, we are going to start today with, if I can grab it here, because this is a last minute one that I grabbed. And I found it in an article. I'm hoping this is coming through here. Yeah, there we go. I found it in an article that came into my email last minute, and I thought, well, I better go and pre-search this one out, and I did, and I found an actual announcement from the Justice Center. So if anyone I hadn't even heard of this bill going through. So, Justice Center expresses concern about the British Columbia's Bill 36. What is this? Well, if you were a health professional, um, health protection practitioner of any kind, that would be nurses, doctors. I guess in my profession too, I was a lab tech. Anyone in there, this will affect you, especially if you've chosen not to take the jab. So B36 provisions, which, if enacted, will permit the health minister to appoint college boards who must unilaterally establish vaccination requirements on all health practitioners for any illness the government deems required vaccination, and to impose proof of up-to-date vaccination status as a condition of licensing. College registrars would be empowered to dismiss any application for licensing or renewal of licensing that does not contain proof of vaccination without notice or without regulatory hearing. The legislation contains provisions that would allow the college to discipline any dissenters, those who speak out against the college. I guess that would be me because I'm kind of speaking out against this right now. Who fail to comply with loss of license. It further enables the college to make, without notice, applications to the court to obtain orders of compliance, orders for entry into the premises to search, seize, and copy property, order to secure premise or orders to secure premises and prevent an owner from entry, to order fines of for non-compliance of up to $200,000. I have a big issue with that. Now, as well as order jail time for up to 6 months if a healthcare worker is deemed to have made a false or misleading statement. Now, um, I have a big problem with this, but this hasn't been enacted as a bill, but I have talked to nurses and stuff like that that have lost their jobs because they chose not to vaccinate. And it is, and they apparently cannot, they're, they were saying, now I'm not sure if they said they couldn't get licensed, but they definitely could not work anymore. So Bonnie Henry has apparently had this going anyhow to some degree. It's just that they're making it law now, basically. What I have a problem with, and I'm going to comment on Saskatchewan in a minute, here is this order to orders to secure premises and enter the prevent an owner from entry to, or order fines and non-compliance and jail, all of that. Seize and copy property. I don't think they have a right if someone chooses not to vaccinate, especially if they are stepping down and not going back to work. They have no right to do that. Now, Saskatchewan, actually, released over a year ago. They wrote in the War Times Act before they started implementing the you have to pay to be for your testing or vaccinate type of thing. And basically, that gave them the right to go in and seize our property if we didn't comply. And that's basically what they're trying to do, is implement this into play. This is basically kind of another version of that. Now, I'm not a law professional, but that's what I read into that as, and maybe someone can comment from the law. So it says here, the passage of Bill 36 would enable the health minister to impose a COVID vaccine as a condition of licensing to all practitioners in the province. So if I wanted to go, say I wanted to just leave the holistic health and I wanted to go back into medical lab technology, if I went and I wanted to live in BC, I'm SOL. I can't work there. What can I do about, not that I'm going to, because I'm actually battling with the idea, do I even renew my license right now, because it's due in a few days, and I'm really not sure if I want to do that. But on the other hand, I get that, it's they're trying to they're implementing pieces that War Times Act in Saskatchewan, and they're putting it into another act in the BC, and it's kind of scary. Um, it's probably not the same. It's probably not going to have the same effects, but I don't know. Anyhow, even for those that have chose to vaccinate, and it says this little bit, um, as well as an order of jail time of up to 6 months if a healthcare worker is deemed to have made a false or misleading statement. Even if you, what scares me is even if you chose to vaccinate and you did go and vaccinate, um, and they decided they wanted to go after you, they could say that you never, if they think that you were misleading in your health. And now I am saying this because as a as a healthcare worker, I left the industry because I saw, like, I was the only one in my department that didn't vaccinate. And I was upfront and honest about it as to why I didn't want to do it, but that wasn't good enough for them. It was health reasons as to why I didn't want to vaccinate. But I can tell you what they did do is they made life very miserable for me. So this is just another way that they can make life miserable for a person. Even if they have vaccinated, they can do this. This legally gives them the right to do constructive dismissal. So yeah, I really have an issue with it. So um so yeah, that's the first one that came up. That just came up just before we were about to go on air, and I had to share it with you guys because I thought it was very important, especially if you're a healthcare worker that has chosen not to vaccinate. I know BC and Alberta were probably more the rigid, stricter ones with practitioners, health practitioners or health professionals. I don't think it extends into the holistic industry. Oh, I hope it doesn't. But I know that some others probably do have rulings that forcing their people to get vaccinated um, in certain areas. I don't know if BC is one of them, but I sure hope it doesn't go into the holistic industry either. So, anyhow, moving on, the next one I want to talk about is Ottawa board mask mandate motion fails. Yay! Because I don't think they should be mandating masks on any children whatsoever. I'm sorry. I have my own issue from masking, and as I was saying a week ago, I actually had another asthma attack from being forced to mask when I was moving my daughter. Now, nothing I can do about it. I had to go in and get her out and moved. But when I was working and having to mask that whole time, I had a constant asthma attack or constant asthma inflammation in my bronchioles. And I couldn't wait till I got home at night to take the mask off. I couldn't wait for the weekend so I could take the mask off and have a few days without because it actually started to settle a little bit. But when I did quit, it took 6 months. I have a big issue because there are studies out there now, and I wish I had access to them right now to show you, but I have read up on studies where they have proven that the incident of COVID goes up when mask mandates are implemented. And that's exactly what happened with Saskatchewan. And yet Mo criticized everyone for oh, you're not masking, you're not following the protocol. Otherwise our numbers would be going up. No, actually not. It's trapping stuff in that mask. Plus, it's preventing you from getting all the oxygen you need. So yeah. And then now when it comes to kids, that's the last thing you should do. And there's studies now showing that that decrease in oxygen can actually cause um, lapses in their learning and everything. So basically, let's just read this real quick. The Ottawa Carleton District School Board has rejected a controversial motion by trustee Dr. Nili Karplan Mirth that would have imposed a mask mandate. The trustee voted in motion on the motion Thursday night after a long special meeting. The vote among trustees was tied 6-6, causing the motion to fail. The two student trustees whose votes are not formally counted both voted against the motion. Carplan Mirth, who is known for controversial social media posts and media appearances, put forward a mask mandate motion amid what experts call a triple demic of respiratory viruses, seasonal flu, RSV, and COVID-19. Motion sparked divisive debate within the OCD-SB community, and with a school board meeting held Tuesday being the subject of disruption and protest by angry parents. The meeting ended up being adjourned, with its continuation taking place in a virtual format Thursday. Basically, it failed, and I'm gonna list these links. This one is by True North, and there has been rumor in Ontario that they're going to implement the masking anyways. So I don't know what that's going to do to implement this. But go through this article. It talks about making allowances for those that can't, exceptions to the rule and everything. I'm just thankful that it was defeated. And it's not going through, because I don't think our kids should be forced to mask. And already socially, many of them have experienced setbacks because of that. So that is one thing I wanted to point out. Let's hope more school boards follow countrywide. Now, I'm going to move right along here. Oh my goodness, it's already 8:30. The next one we're going to look at is, sorry, I'm just looking here. There was another one here that I had. Yeah, here. Here's another one here. No legal basis to investigate COVID dissident doctors, lawyers state. Now I think these guys are mostly in Ontario. Anyhow, I'm going to show one of these doctors' websites next, because I actually started following him over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago. Anyways, this is interesting. These are some of the doctors that are kind of being rebels, hence Rebel News. One of these doctors, Dr. Trazi, I was actually alerted to him through Druthers. It's another right-wing newspaper. Anyways, new legal basis to investigate COVID dissident doctors, lawyer states. The restriction placed on physicians in Ontario were never legislated laws or regulations. They were merely recommendations or guidelines, and they infringed on the charter of right of both patient and doctor. A motion presented by lawyer Michael Alexander on November 23rd sought to invalidate further hearings scheduled for 3 doctors who are facing disciplinary action by their regulatory body, the College of Physicians and Surgeons in Ontario. One thing that they all have in common was a general skepticism of the evidence supporting COVID-19 related restrictions, from harmful lockdowns, treatment options, and mandates. I'll show you Dr. Mark Trazi. I'll show you his website in a minute. Dr. Patrick Phillips and Dr. Crystal Luchke all have been restricted in their practicing duties, some suspended completely, and face further disciplinary action by the college. The restrictions placed on them and all physicians essentially gag ordered them from saying anything contrary to the public health orders or COVID-19 recommendations. That's crazy. The doctors are the ones that actually are supposed to be regarded as the ones that are knowledgeable on stuff like this, but they're being gag ordered. They are further obstructed from writing medical exemptions from the novel injections and indiscriminate masking except in extreme circumstances and are banned from prescribing alternative early treatments. Isn't that crazy, guys? Like, that is a conspiracy theory of its own. That's a conspiracy of its own. Not a theory, that's a conspiracy, period. The merit of the motion was that restrictions placed on the physicians violated their fundamental charter of rights, expression, life, liberty, and security of the person. Their crime, they are suspected of to have prescribed early alternative COVID-19 treatments to their patients, written mask and vaccine exemptions, and provided their patients with legally required informed consent before indiscriminately injecting them with the COVID-19 shot. Now, this last part, before, and what they were they were providing the legally required informed consent before indiscriminately injecting them with the COVID-19 shot. They're supposed to be doing that, and now that's considered a crime. That's horrible. Like, that's completely against the Nuremberg Code. And they're being, oh my goodness, I am so irate on that. Dr. Phillips is also being prosecuted for the crime of filing COVID-19 adverse event reports. Can you believe that? So right there, obviously, right there, that indicates that our numbers are so out of luck or out of whack. And now I know in Saskatchewan, earlier this year, they released a big list of adverse events that happened with the shots in Saskatchewan. None of them were listed as death. It was a huge list, and I do have it. I should probably give people access to it. Anyhow, when we had that person a couple months ago that passed out in Saskatoon, died literally in the pharmacy for getting their second or third shot. Now, don't quote me. I probably was the third. It was probably a booster. Could have been the fourth too. Basically, the Sask government came and said a few days later that it was not due to the shot, and there has been no deaths due to the shot. Basically, because there's been no deaths due to the shot in Saskatchewan. Well, we know that's a bull-faced lie, because I have heard, and I cannot confirm it, but I have heard of people that have died, and I've heard, now this is hearsay, that family members have been paid out. So if anyone knows or anyone wants to come forth with something like that, that would be great, and we can investigate it. Shortly after the novel injection was rolled out en masse, he began noticing reactions in his emergency department. None of his reports were filed with the Canadian Adverse Events. Okay, wait a minute. None of his reports were filed with the Canadian Adverse Events following immunization surveillance system. Okay. Interestingly enough, when I was working in the hospital, they were coming up with something called Vanessa's, Vanessa's law or something like that, where it was required to vaccines fell under it, and it was required to report to this Vanessa's law procedure thing. I haven't heard, and that was released a few months before COVID. I have not heard anything about Vanessa's law. I'm going to try and do some research into that, and I'm going to see what's happened with that, because I have not heard anything about Vanessa's law. It was something that was actually pursued, I believe, by the family. I'll have to go and do some history on it, and I'll try to do a little bit of an article or a report on it for you guys and bring you guys up to date on that. And I don't know what the heck's happening. And I don't know whether this CFIS, or however they say that, is a part of that Vanessa's law or what. Anyhow, Dr. Trozzi was an early whistleblower denouncing the narrative at the hospitals, um, that the hospitals were overrun, as evidenced by what he saw with his own eyes in the emergency department where he used to work. He continued to be a dissident doctor, highlighting that the justification for further public health measures were not justified and made little medical sense. Now, I read the original article. I was searching druthers and I couldn't find it, but you might be able to find it on his website, and I'll show it to you a little later. Anyhow, Dr. Trozzi was the first doctor I noticed that indicated that when a variant, when a virus has a new variant, it actually decreases the um, the ability to kill. And I'm trying to put it in layman's terms. It reduces. It may be more virulent, where it's more catchy, but it reduces the ability. It reduces its ability to. It loses its kill ability in it when it mutates. So and it was posted in this article. I haven't taken the time to actually try and find it on his website, but I couldn't find it anymore on Druthers. That doesn't mean that it's not there. I just, because I don't know the actual name of the article, I have to actually look, um, find it. But do check out his website. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Now, Dr. Luch Q, I hope I'm saying that right, is further being prosecuted for a refusal to disclose and submit patient private and confidential medical records. This reinforced the hunch-based accusations against her, says counsel Michael Alexander. In addition to the charter arguments made by Michael Alexander, he repeatedly condemns CPSO's investigation as having no merit. Since COVID restrictions are guidelines and or recommendations, they cannot be used as a basis for charter changes or investigations because they are not laws or regulations. So anyways, you can continue to go on and read more about this. I'm not going to go right to the end. Like I said, I'm going to enclose all these links, but I was checking Rebel News and I actually found this, and I thought this might be interesting for you guys to go ahead and look at. Right now, I'm going to just go grab Dr. Trozzi's website, and I can't remember what the URL is. The URL is drtrozzi.org, and I believe it's either in his bio or something, that article. So do check it out. He does keep up to date with a lot of information. It looks like he's got some current events, current articles in there and everything. Do check him out. You'll get a lot of good, wholesome, proper information from him. So give it a shot, give it a look, and I will include that link later. Like I said before, some of the links, when we go and put them into Facebook or YouTube and anything, they sometimes flag it. So I try to, if I can't get it into the description, I try to put it into a comment, and hopefully you'll be able to access it. Access it there. So anyhow, let's move on. So we're going to move into now. I just double check that before I do that. Oh, one more in the health. And this is another one that I was pretty upset about when I saw, but I've heard of it happening down in the States. Calgarians react to the unvaxxed being denied life-saving organ transplants. Now, I can't talk for or against transplants. I've worked in facilities where they've had kidney dialysis wards. My husband has had a transplant. He's had a cornea transplant. It is a lifesaver from that point of view. There is other ethical issues in behind, so I'm told. I haven't researched them very well. But from our standpoint, My husband, it improved his sight so much, and we are very thankful for it. But this really upsets me. And this is basically this woman. I'm not sure if I'm not gonna really play um, the video of it, but basically, Alberta's Health Minister Jason Copping is adopting the Alberta Court of Appeals ruling to denying a woman an organ transplant as she did not have the COVID-19 vaccine, a transplant which doctors told her she will die without. So they're going to kill her basically because she has concerns and doesn't want the vaccine. You know, sounds like it's either march to your death through vaccine or march to your death through denial of an organ transplant. What idiots. Sorry, I just had to say that. It really upsets me that she doesn't have that option. So, the Court of the King's Bench argued the Charter of Rights and Freedoms has no status when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine requirement. In response to this, Lewis, alongside the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms, the JCCF, took the case to the Court of Appeal of Alberta. Her lawyer asserted that the vaccine mandate was going to lead her to death by denying her a chance at life-saving procedure. So basically, yeah, basically what they're saying, she's either gonna die without getting that life-saving procedure, and she could possibly die with getting the vaccine as well. So, anyways, you guys need to actually read this. I'm not going to really spend a whole lot of time on this. It just irritates the heck out of me because, I mean, what are they doing? And they just finally get Premier Danielle Smith, who is, amending the Alberta Human Rights Act to not discriminate against the medical choice and stuff like that. And yet they're still trying to discriminate against this poor woman. Um, and I hope if she dies, someone's able to sue them. I really do, because that is not fair at all. It really isn't. So I wanted to point that one out. And now we're going to go into looking at a few of the things from this wonderful, wonderful public inquiry that's going on. Yeah, right. It's actually really funny when we're watching how some of them are actually lying through their teeth in it, or avoiding answering. So we have, first of all, there is Chrystia Freeland. I can't stand this woman. I can't stand Trudeau either, but this woman even just curdles my blood. Testifies that the Emergencies Act, she really doesn't care about civil liberties. Well, we've known that for a while. And basically, she is this, I guess, I'm just trying to, maybe this is the one that I want to play, but I don't have much time, so I don't want to actually play it right now. Basically, Ezra stated that I think Chrystia Freeland is an I can't even say that word today. I think she's really doesn't care about the civil liberties. She's more used to the global billionaire set. In fact, she wrote a book about billionaires before she became a member of parliament. She was actually an official biographer of George Soros, which is, I think, the most, I think, a fact most Canadians don't know, would find interesting. That's Ezra. Ezra is the head of Rebel News there. So he went on to say that to this day, bizarrely, I don't even know how it's legal. She's on the board of directors for the World Economic Forum. She doesn't care about things like civil liberties and Canadian sovereignty. She loves the idea of bringing in martial law and the whole idea of having to answer to the public is something she doesn't really like one bit. Now, we've seen that there has been some interesting things that have actually come out in her testimony, which was yesterday, I've only seen bits and pieces of it, and I've heard. This is from Ezra. I think it was. I have to look in here, but I'm pretty. Oh, I'm not going to go into this. This is. But anyways, do watch that. It's about a 10-minute long thing, and it just kind of summarizes what Ezra, and I think he was joined by Alexa Lavoie. I think she's one of his French reporters there. She's quite a nice lady. She was one that actually got attacked at the convoy herself. She got something in the face. I can't remember what it was, but she got something in the face, if I recall right. So she was maybe not had it as bad as when that lady got run down by the horse, but she got something in the face, whether it was pepper spray or what, I can't remember. But I do remember her being kind of something happened to her when they were trying to move everyone out. So do take a look at this. I will include it. That one I'm pretty sure I can include. And let's see, I have a few more here. And I'm just trying to skim through them because we're running out of time here. Here's another one for Christia. And in a cross-examination, the Deputy Prime Minister says it's significant that Fox News attacked the Liberal government's draconian response to the Free Convoy protest because of the perception it leaves for customers watching. So basically, she didn't like the fact that Fox News called her out on a few things, and called her out, and well, Fox News was right into it too, and they were actually reporting on it. They did a few interviews, some good interviews, and I saw some of these interviews, but she really took offense to it. So this is something good to watch. Now, Fox News, if you don't know, Fox News is right-winged. And interestingly enough, they run Tubi.com. And I always said to my husband that, boy, this Tubi.com seems a little bit on the right-wing end. And sure enough, when I was looking at advertising under them, I found out that Tubi.com was owned by Fox. So if you're wanting a free streaming service, go to Tubi.com. If you're right-winged, you'll find a lot of content, old and fairly new, on there, and it's you'll find I tend to go to it when I run out of all the other stuff, and until they get new content in, because I kind of rather stay there. But anyways, yes, this is a good read, and you'll watch some of these videos. I don't know.
And the Fox News reference there is especially significant because many Canadian banks have significant operations in the United States. And so having Fox News attack you isn't a problem only because Canadians might be watching. But if you have a big US operation, it's a problem because your American customers will be watching. And I do think that was a problem that was legitimate to raise, and I was concerned about it.
Wow, she's concerned about that, but yet she's not worried about civil liberties at all. So interesting, hey? Obviously, she likes scratching the back of higher up people with money, right? Let's see. Looking for. Okay, and I think this is the last one that I have here today. And this is Justice Minister David Lametti views convoy protesters through a race lens. Now, I think I'm just going to play this. This will kind of give you a little bit information on it.
So the reason why they did not investigate the fact that they did not investigate implies and means that there was no reasonable suspicion that the threshold was met. Hence, the threshold was not met. There's some links that you need to do with that.
Now, there's another thing that came out in David Lametti's testimony today. As early as January 30th, in text messages, January 30th, the convoy's been on the ground for, I don't know, 36 hours, maybe 24 at that point, little over 24, maybe let's just say a day and a half. Let's round up for David Lametti's sake. On the 30th, he is saying, should we invoke the EA? And also, should we be treating these people differently based on race? I'll just scroll back while you're giving your thoughts there about what exactly was said. But I actually was kind of shocked to see it in writing. I thought he would be smart enough to put this in a phone call with his cronies and not send it back and forth in a text message that would then be subject to evidentiary rules in this commission.
So which one exactly? Because there's a lot of shocking text messages he spoke of when that we saw this. Or are you talking about the one where he says that the protesters could have been treated differently if they were Black or Indigenous, or is it something else?
Right. No, this is a Lametti text from January 30th. I said it's something else, and boy, was it ever. He wanted to use the Emergencies Act as early as 1.5 days into the convoy, and he was indicating he would treat the protests differently based on race. So what he said was, do we have contingency for these trucks to be removed tomorrow or Tuesday? And then he puts in brackets, if they were Black or Indigenous, ... Meaning, should we consider treating them differently because they aren't Black or Indigenous, as opposed to our approach to Indigenous-led, however, I wouldn't say it's Indigenous protests, blocking rail lines or sabotaging pipelines, or I don't know, maybe we need a minister to come out and take a knee with them the way Justin Trudeau did with the BLM marches. So this is what he's saying. He says, what's the normative authority do we have, or is some order needed? EA? So that's January 30th. Like, the sun had set on one day of convoy protests, and he's like, drop the hammer, war measures these people.
Yeah. No, it was very surprising to hear that. It was very funny when I was sitting in the room and I read that. So he clarified afterwards what he meant by that. He meant that he understands that there are issues of so-called systemic racism in the police forces and in the justice system, and that had it been a Black or Indigenous protest, he was wondering if those people would have been treated more harshly and differently than the people at the convoy. They weren't.
That's the stupid thing.
Yeah,
they weren't.
And I recall the police beating down. I recall RCMP horses trampling 2 Indigenous protesters. I recall the police arresting a Métis grandmother from Alberta for peacefully protesting. So I don't think that these text messages make that much sense. I think it's pretty funny, honestly.
Anyways, isn't that horrible? Like, and I'm not even just the whole, like, I mean, yes, he's putting it through a race lens, which is crazy. But not only that, they're bringing up the Emergencies Act as early as a day and a half into that. And when you listen to the testimony of some of these places, even Trudeau, I caught a little bit of it this morning. He was actually saying it was on the table from the very beginning, the Emergencies Act. So they were looking into it. He was trying to say that they weren't looking at it, actually implementing it right away, but it was on the table right off the bat, he said. So yeah, it's kind of a little bit sick. Anyways, this is a good read. Give it a look, and you can read that whole, or you can listen to that whole thing. I'm not going to play the whole 7 minutes, almost 8 minutes of it, but I will include these links for you, and you can give it a quick look. Just a sec here. When I'm working with all these tabs, I have to be very careful here. Anyhow, I would like to thank you for joining us tonight. And I did kind of stray a little bit from health, but I wanted to actually bring that up because I thought it was important. Apparently, the Emergencies Act inquiry is wrapping up today, the public commission or whatever. Justin Trudeau was the last one. They gave him a whole day. Oh, must be so honorable to be a whole day. I Then I think what's going to happen is now the commissioner, the judge, or what was his name, Rulo or something like that. I can't remember his name. He's going to take the next few months to go through the evidence, write it all up, and then I think he has to have it out by the 23rd of February next year. What he comes up with. A lot of people are saying that this is just ridiculous. It's just a monkey show. It's stupid. It's going to get us nowhere. But you know what? The public needs to do it. And I think that even whatever he comes out with it, the public's going to have their own decision on it, because you can actually watch most of it on YouTube. I think when they had the convoy organizers on, I was watching it. I was quite impressed with how good and how well spoken they were. There was a couple that kind of got off. Even Pat King, believe it or not, he did very good. And I laughed. He actually sent one of the lawyers on the government side, got him upset, and that lawyer got kicked out for a few hours. So, because basically Pat King wasn't giving him the answer he wanted, and because he would have been lying on the stand, so it was pretty good. Apparently the convoy lawyer, Brendan Miller, I think he's with the convoy. He's one of the convoy. He's when I watch Shadow Davis show, he calls them Miller time, and he actually puts a few of them in their spot. So I actually want to go back and watch his cross-examine of Trudeau and see what happens today, because it might be quite entertaining. Anyhow, I would like to thank you guys again for joining. I am just going to, just a sec here. Show a word from our sponsors again. And so remember to give the Choice Network a visit. Take a look at what they have. This might be something that you might be interested in. Don't forget the coupon code CVitality10 to get 10% off your first subscription. And, if you're not sure, you can actually connect with one of their account executives, and they'd be happy to help you, give you some more information on it. Then there's IMatter Wellness. They're sleuthing out your wellness needs. You can give them a check and see if they can help you out in some of your, helping you take back the control of your own health, and your health and wellness. And that's IMatterWellness.ca. Lastly, do all your searching with pre-search. We have a link in the description. You don't have to take out an account with them, but if you do, you actually can earn crypto. You can search with them even without an account, and they keep your searching safe. So no one has to. So basically, you don't have to worry about Google knowing what you're searching, and they also present a better search. So anyways, that's pretty much everything in a nutshell. We will see you guys Monday night. I will hopefully try to find some good posts about Trudeau's testimony for Monday night. I haven't had time to go through it. It was a long day with him on there, and I had other things that I was dealing with. You guys have a great weekend, and and keep warm, keep safe, and we will talk to you.